MK Mad Kitty, and today I'm going to show you one of my favorite games on Steam. I was a teenage exocolonist. There's going to definitely be spoilers here because how the game works is it builds off of previous playthroughs, and I've done a lot of playthroughs of this game. So, if at any point you realize, oh hey, I'm really interested in this game, maybe stop watching and give it a try yourself. So I'm on a mission, and my mission is to unlock all the endings, of which there are many. This one, right here, is called The Hobbyist. And I have tried to get this ending like 10 times. And so today you guys are going to be on a journey with me as I try to get this ending once again. My morale is low, but we'll see how it goes. So let's start our new life. I'm not sure how much reading I'm going to do because I have read a lot of this a million times. But I know it's new to all you, not all of you guys, some of you guys. You wake to chaos, a confusion of light and heat and smoke. Fire! Your head is pounding. You must have hit it and blacked out. You aren't sure how you got here or what on Vertumna is happening. There's something important you need to remember. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles beneath your feet, then collapses. Your body aches and your eyes burn from the smoke. A figure appears through the flames. It's your friend. Your friend? Wait, why can't you remember her name? She's gesturing and shouting at you, but all you hear is ringing in your ears. You try to speak, but the words come out jumbled. Your throat seizes around a lungful of choking smoke, and you feel dizzy and confused. Your friend pulls you out of the rubble. She throws your arm over her shoulder and half drags you towards the door. Through it, you see a deep, eerie twilight, dark blue and cold against the heat of the fire around you. Low season. Glowing eyes. You shake your head to clear your vision. Is that some kind of dog, like from Earth? The creature howls and lunges, its jaws open. I love the music. I was a teenage exocolonist. You were born on the Stratospheric, Earth's first colony ship. Halfway through its 20-year voyage to a wormhole at the edge of the solar system. Your parents run the hydroponic gardens, which makes fresh air and vegetables for the ship. Like the other colonists, they bravely chose to make this one-way journey to the uncharted planet Vertumna 4, in the hope that they could escape Earth's troubles. They had you the old-fashioned way, merging their genes like they merge their cultures and traditions. They name you. So what I like to do, since these all are kind of similar names, I like to name myself Soul. Obviously, that is not a requirement. And then you get to customize your character a little bit. Okay. I'm really not sure what the best loadout for hobbyist is. Because for a hobbyist, we kind of have to be good at everything. Perhaps more accurately, not good at. And what we choose kind of affects our starting stats. So, let's see. See, Empathy is good because then we unlock the spa sooner. And toughness is good if we want to be able to explore sooner. But the problem I have when going for the hobbyist ending is I get too much exploration done. So I might go for empathy. So because we picked this little card, we get 5 persuasion. Persuasion? Whatever. The captain runs the whole entire ship. She's very big and very, very old. She doesn't usually have time to talk with kids. Your dad says her job is serious business. From as early as you can remember, you've had vivid dreams every night. You dream about your friends, but they're more grown up. You dream about your parents too, only they're more serious. At night, you explore a vast, unexplored wilderness under wide open skies, enjoying the feeling of rain hitting your face. Except sometimes you dream of monsters. Sometimes the bad dreams make you scared to go to sleep. So every night before lights out, your dad tells you a bedtime story. You often ask for Tales of Earth, a place you've only seen in holo vids. Your dad doesn't want to talk about it. How about we save that for another time, he'll say, or maybe when you're older. He prefers made-up stories. Your favorite is... And then whatever we pick, we'll get a card. So, because how this game works is you're stuck in a time loop. And so this little symbol means that I get these because of things I've done in previous loops. So I'm actually going to click ship engineering manuals because of reasons that if you played this game before you might know. Forget fiction, you're strangely drawn to the diagrams and equations in a manual that accidentally found its way into the shelf with the kids' books. You spent hours divining the meaning behind these cryptic pictures. Your dad tries to explain them to the best of his abilities. Every child on the Stratospheric is given one genetic enhancement by age 6 to see the first sign of yours. So... a really good one... There's a lot of good ones here, but a really good one is Calm Temperament because it reduces the amount of stress you earn, which lets you do more things before you have to rest. But in this case, since for the hobbyist, doing more things doesn't necessarily help us out. If we boost our strength, we can go outside sooner. But if we're not good at anything, let's do nothing at all. Genetic purity is so out of fashion on the Stratospheric that some consider it a disability. Nonetheless, your parents believe that enhancements are too invasive and chose not to give you one. The children's crush, Antecedent, showers you with praise and kudos for anything you do well. Like she's expecting you to have trouble keeping up. Thanks, Antecedent. You share the extra kudos with your friend. And so, whoever we pick here... we'll get their first card, but we'll also get friendship points with them. I'm gonna pick the ship's computer, which is something I earned from a past life, because there's a subplot I don't feel like dealing with in this run, which if you play the game yourself, you'll know what that is. Get reasoning and engineering, dang. By the time you're 8, you spend more time talking to the ship's computer than others your age. You just seem to know some things about her without understanding why, like how to ask nicely for her to treat you like one of the adults, unlocking commands that the other kids don't even know exist. It's a trick you do, a string of numbers and letters recited in a whisper, a secret language between you and her alone. You're 10 years old when the ship finally reaches the wormhole. Professor Howell says it's like a doorway to the other star systems, with the planets Fortuna 4 on the other side. You run emergency drills for months to prepare. When the day finally comes, it starts with a rumble, then things start to slide off the tables. You hurry to gather near the escape pods, just in case. Single file, everyone. Professor Hal instructs you to follow him. You've dreamed of this day since you were in diapers. It's one of your earliest memories, even though it hasn't happened yet. As the ship passes through the wormhole, the shields fail. If you don't recalibrate them, your parents' hydroponic farms will be lost. So, because we're friends with the computer and we've read the manuals, we can recalibrate the shields, which skips the subplot about the farms failing. You give Professor Hal the slip, a move you've practiced for this day, and rush to the engine wing past confused adults who try to stop you. Find the nearest Congruence terminal and enter the root access code. Congruence agrees to help you because you are her friend and because you know her favorite string of letters and numbers. Access code accepted, she says. Please enter the shield calibration parameters. You spent your childhood studying the ship's design and still have the old manual from your second birthday. Give Congruence the command. Lock the wormhole radiation. The turbulence stops. The ship glides smoothly through the wormhole and out the other side with no damage. You did it! As the wormhole effects recedes, you feel sudden intense waves of dizziness, like gravity has gone all topsy-turvy. You're pulled downward with an irresistible force. The wormhole may have spared the stratospheric, but it will never let go of you. You black out. Gradually, your consciousness reforms. You wake up in the medbay. Medbay under you plays a soft tone and an automatic voice speaks. 2 weeks have elapsed. The patient's cranial energy has completed healing. They may now be safely discharged. As the fog lifts from your head, you realize something seems different about this room. It's so bright. You try to focus on the window. Something is definitely different. Sunlight? Instead of the familiar blackness of space, bright light from twin blue and yellow suns streaming through the windows. You peer out and see fields, glass wall domes, and walls ringed by giant mushroom-like trees. There are construction materials everywhere and people walking around outside on the ground. You better get out there and join them. Rush outside to start your new life. Okay. So, this is us. Yay! King Cluck. Tammy. Tammy looks concerned. You slept for so long after you bumped your head, she says. I bet your parents are worried. Your dad is working over in geoponics near those domes. They're called greenhouses. I would go with you, but, well, this is as far as I've been from the ship since we landed. Tammy stammers, blushing. It's scary outside. So this is the colony. We are 10 years old. Soul, your dad gives you a big warm hug. I'm so happy you're finally awake. Welcome to Vertumna. You notice the small mountains of... I almost said flesh. Of fresh soil around him. And the rows and rows of planted crops already starting to poke their sprouts out of the dirt. Something is different. Everything's different on Vertumna. He grins broadly, gesturing around you. Except for the soil, which we brought from Earth. He points to the field of crops. And it's a good thing, too, because the dirt here would be hard to grow corn or rice in. But who knows, maybe someday we'll be eating weird alien crops, too. He wiggles his fingers at you. I hope they don't tickle. You giggle as he comes in for a tickle attack. Aw, you love your dad. Oh, before I forget, he pulls a package out from his satchel and hands it to you. You blink and stare at it blankly. Don't you know what day it is? He asks. You honestly don't. You remind him you've been asleep in medbay. Happy birthday, he shouts, wrapping you in a warm hug. Your birthday already? You feel a dizzying sense of deja vu. You stare hard at the wrap package. You know exactly what's in there. You remember it. No, you dreamed about this package. Some years ago on the ship. Inside will be a small medallion in the shape of a sun that your dad made by hand. So, I don't know why we want to open the package, but these both lead you to the same thing. You get the card. It's just whether or not you reveal that you know what's in it, which is not super important. How did you know this? Exactly as you imagined, as you dreamed. A feeling of panic rises in your throat. Your hand shakes, but how? Your dad notices. Are you okay, Soul? He snaps his fingers. Doctor instincts shouldn't have let you out so early. Sometimes these sleeping meds take a while to wear off. They might make your head feel funny for a few hours. You nod. Maybe Maybe that's all it is. I'm always here if you need me, okay, little Sunberry? Professor Hal is expecting you in classes. If you're feeling up to it, your dad says, pointing west to the engineering wing and the rear end of the bisected ship. Then he points to the large doors you came out of earlier. Or you can relax in our quarters until you're feeling better. We'll talk later tonight, he says, then kisses the top of your head and ruffles your hair. Have a wonderful birthday, Soul. I love you. Love you too, Dad. Okay. So, we have some other kids we can talk to. You see Dis sitting on the ground beside some bushes. Is he hiding from somebody? He seems to be watching the gate in the wall to the south, where grown-ups are coming and going. Kids aren't allowed past the walls. Oh, he says quietly. Kids aren't allowed past the walls, he says quietly without looking up. They say there's nothing to be afraid of, but then why do we need walls? You stare at the gate and have a sudden rush of memories so strong that you think you might faint. You imagine something crashing through the wall, something enormous and dark and wriggly. For years in space, you've only half remembered nightmares of monsters, of your ship being destroyed, of sifting through wreckage that used to be your home, trying to find something. Your dad always told you the dreams weren't real. Breaking you from your daydream, Dis whispers, I think there are monsters out there. I believe you. No, you don't, he says. You're being sarcastic, I can tell. Nobody believes me. He turns his back and ignores you. We will leave him alone. You tried. Dis is so sensitive about being teased. Dis is one of my favorites. And then here's Anemone. Hiya, Soul. Anemone seems really at home here. She's rolling a sports ball around with her foot, making patterns in the weird blue snow. This stuff is different from snow on Earth, she tells you, because it isn't cold, but it's still neat, and you can make stuff out of it. Your foggy head clears a little. An enemy is simple, physical, real. You always feel grounded near her. I don't feel like reading all these, so I'm just gonna say see you later. Not if I see you first, an enemy says, flashing you a peace sign. Hey, maybe see you in class. All right, you should probably go to class. Like your mom said, you kids are expected to manage your own schedules, so you don't have to do it if you don't feel up to it, but it's not a bad idea. Okay, so right now, our options are... Yeah, we can't do this yet. There are different, sections of the colony, and every month, we can pick one job. And if we want the hobby ascending, we want to do all of the jobs and we want to slack off and rest a lot. But if we do too many of one job, it's gonna overwork the other ones, and then we're gonna get a different ending. So I have a little checklist with me to keep track of actually how many. So according to my notes, which I don't know how, I think I got this from the Wikipedia, work a variety of jobs, every location a minimum of 4 to 5 times, relax and lounge, park, and on walls. I've tried this, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So, for this first month, we have 2 options. We can play sports ball. Oh, no, we can't. We can only go to school. So we're gonna go to school. And engineering, where our options are study life sciences or study humanities. Let's try to keep our stats as even as we can. either way, let's just study life science. Good afternoon, my burgeoning biologists and up-and-coming chemists. Professor Howe welcomes you back to your old classroom. This afternoon, we'll learn what I like to call the wet sciences. Ew! He gestures to his hollow projected lesson plan. Biology, chemistry, medicine, ecology, and geology. Learn a little bit of everything with opportunities for further study in your favorite field. If you're looking for something a little drier, try registering for engineering classes. Sorry, give me 1 second. I got a piece of paper. I got a notebook so I can keep better track instead of using my phone of the jobs we do. So this is study life science. Sick. In the engineering lab. Okay. For today's lesson, Professor Howell tells you we'll start with a fun group project. We'll be studying the mush tree, a prominent natural resource native to Vertumna. In the ideal conditions, it can grow at a speed of over a meter and a day and have a diameter of up to 30 centimeters. He stands on his tiptoes and gestures to illustrate. Your team will experiment to find those ideal conditions. We teamed up with Tang, and Cal, and given a mush tree, spore, and a bucket to grow in. The rest is up to you. Tang looks up Surveyor's notes on the holonet. Mush trees, she reads, are most abundant south of the colony in the stormy, moist regions of the subaqueous swamp. What if we use water instead of soil, like they do with hydroponics? If they like wet weather, that might work. Sol, do you have any suggestions? So I know from previous games that running an electrical current helps it grow. What? Tang explains. Sol, how does that have any basis in reality? She looks to Cal for support and he just shrugs, but he doesn't look convinced either. Neither understand why you'd want to electrocute a plant. You explain that there's storms in the swamp, electrical storms, and maybe somehow that will. Maybe Sol is right. Tang nods slowly. It could make sense, and if it is true, we'd be the first ones to discover it. This is enough to entice Tang into most things. You attach a small battery to run weak current through your bucket of water and drop the spore in. Next morning, your spore is the only one already growing. By the end of the day, it's already half a meter tall. And the day after that, it's so huge it hits the ceiling and you have to move it outside. Your tree outpaces all the others by a long shot. At the end of the week, Tang proudly displays an edit to the Surveyor's holonet notes. Shows rapid growth when stimulated with a mild electrical current as discovered by our junior botanist. So now we do the little mini game where we select cards and you get points for matching cards being next to each other. So these are both zeros, so you get a point because they're matched. You also get match for the color. Get a 1 down there. And then having 3 ones in a row will also get us 3 of a kind points, as well as color points. You can also get points for straights and for, which, oh dear, that's not enough. Well, we can push through, and it costs some of our stress, which wouldn't be a bad thing. And since we're going for the hobbyist route, and then we get rewards based on how we did. Your parents have been working from first dawn till well after dinner every day. You seem so happy and fulfilled now that you've landed. Everything is doing great over at Geoponics, but their long hours mean less you time. I'm sorry we haven't seen much of you, little gooseberry, your dad says. Your mom watches you as she works a pebble out of her gardening tiller, which also serves as a crutch. How have you been holding up? So we can say this because we are in a time loop, but then we get this card, which is it's not a bad card, but it is a -1 card, so its use is specific. So we'll just say that we learned some stuff in school. I'm glad to hear that, your mom says. I want you to study hard, work hard, and stay out of trouble. Your dad smiles, and Professor Howell will give you kudos if you get good grades. You can spend those at the depot when it sits open. You know, says your dad, raising an eyebrow at your mom, I think there are lots of different ways to learn, and school is just one of them. You can learn from working on a hobby or by helping a friend. Your mom shakes her head and sighs, though you can tell she's trying to put on a gentle expression. We both agree that this colony is an experiment, and that means we're going to do things differently than on Earth. You're old enough now to start making your own decisions about your education and future. Chat, we're 10. Just saying. And if that means you find your own way, we'll accept that. If you don't go to school, your mom actually gets upset and brings it up. Your dad puts a hand on your shoulder. We'll be proud of you no matter what you do. Try talking to your friends. They may have ideas for how you can spend your time. And come by Geoponics, your mom adds. We could use your help. Alright. So now it's mid-quiet. So first season, second month, I suppose you could say. And people want to talk to us. An enemy is bumping a sports ball with her wrists, trying to keep it in the air. Heads up, she shouts, and bumps the ball in your direction. Think fast. So we don't have enough toughness points to do a trick, but we can bounce it back, and we earn a toughness point for trying at least. You bounce the ball back and forth with her, trying to see how many times you can rally and keep it going. An enemy tells you about the new sports ball court, a proper regulation-sized court, way bigger than the little 0G1 on the stratospheric. Her brother Calm is coaching the junior sports ball team this year. He's so great, she says. He's good at everything, especially spiking. He's coaching me to play awesome like him. You should come join us. Dad, what have you been up to today? Just chilling. That Cal's a good boy. Have you seen an enemy? She's been out by the garrison playing sports ball. I think she's spent every day outside since we landed. He chuckles to himself. Guess that's what happens when you've got enough brothers to make your own sports ball team. He breathes deeply and looks slowly around. Rotumna is magnificent, isn't it? You nod. Seasons, he shouts, throwing his hands wide. I missed seasons. Back on Earth, it got much, much colder, and the snow wasn't half as pretty as our sparks now. He sighs, stretching. You just wait until dust season. Both the suns will be high in the sky, and it'll be real hot then. You'll see. Mother, find your mom hard at work. You've seen these plans pinned on the wall of your family's quarters for years now. These geodesic domes will house some more delicate plants from Earth. Spinach, tomatoes, maybe even fruit. She takes a swig from her canteen as you approach, looking for something to do. Remember, Soul, you're responsible for your own schedule now and we've landed. You can decide how to spend your time so long as it's productive. Joke's on you, Mom, we're going for the hobbyist route. She points to the engineering wing, the back half of the stratospheric severed frame. Professor Howell's still expecting you in class, but a well-rounded education includes practical education. You're old enough to help with the work around here. She claps her hands on her shoulders. I've got another minute. Anything you need to know? I am not going to read all this, so I'm saying no, I'm good. So, we could go back to school. We haven't unlocked anything here yet, except for relaxing, which we don't need to do yet, because we still have stress. Oh, Tam, Mars Man. A sharp whistle interrupts your thoughts. Hey, Soul, Mars calls out to you. Come here, I have a job for you. You walk over to Mars, who's sheltering from the snow under the ship's overhang. It's so gross here, she complains. The spark snow would ruin my good clothes. At least on the ship we had climate control. Ugh. Tammy made me some soy seeds, but there's no way I'm going to go out there in all this weather, she continues. Since you like running around in it, could you fetch them for me? Sure. Good. She's probably just down the hill near our quarters. Mars sighs. She's scared to take more than a few steps from the door. All she wants to do is hide inside and make sweets. So, we can talk to Mars again and be like, psych, I'm not doing it. We'll do it. We'll go to Tammy. Tammy is staring obliviously at the sky, smiling to herself. She startles as you approach. Oh, hello, Soul, she says, putting her hands to her chest. Do you need something? I'm here for Mars's soy sweets. Tammy smiles at you. Oh, it's so nice of you to help out Mars. She's a very important person, you know. She hands you a box wrapped in a pink and yellow scarf. One order of mango soy seeds, made fresh this morning, she says. Please tell Mars that she can have the scarf back. Okay? She used some of her kudos to nanoprint it for me because it's so dusty here, but I think I'm getting used to it now. Tammy smiles again and tucks her hair behind her big elven ears. Mars is so cool, she says fondly. Sometimes she's kind of bossy, but I know she really cares too. Mars puts out her hand out expectantly. Give it here. So I'm going to say that I want half so I can get this card, which is a good early card, but later it's not going to be as good. The audacity! She glares at you and you stare back defiantly. Ugh, okay, fine. She eventually relents with a small smile. You did fetch them after all. She actually likes it when you negotiate her. She finds it impressive. You split the box of soy seeds with Mars and sit to eat some with her. They're great. Tammy's a good baker, Mars sighs, but I wish she wasn't so scared of everything here. Sure, the weather is gross, but it's not dangerous. Oh, right. Administrator Seek's looking for someone to do delivery jobs for the depot, she says. I don't want to do it because, like, you running around out here? No. Just go through there, she says, gesturing to the door behind her, and tell them I referred you. Let's see what Tammy wants to talk about. You see Tammy sitting quietly near the entrance to the lounge. You've known her for, well, your whole entire life. Back on the ship, you used to play with her. Tammy had the best doll collection. After her mom died, her dad used all the nanoprinter creds to print her a different doll every month for a whole year. Her ears perk up when she sees you. Oh, hello, Soul, she says. Her voice is soft and dreamy like a beam of starlight. Do you want to play dolls? She has such Fluttershy energy. Yeah? Yeah, let's play with dolls. You don't think Tammy will ever be too old to play with dolls. If anything, she has even more of them now. She takes you to her quarters and brings out the entire Spacey Stacy doll collection. A disturbingly realistic baby with real bowel movements and two super fancy posable dolls named Lily and Tilly who can be programmed to move on their own. Tammy isn't very good at the programming, so Lily and Tilly just roll around awkwardly when you turn them on. You cover quickly by saying they must be breakdancing at a club. The two of you spend the afternoon making up stories of the rise to stardom as professional dancers. That's funny. So it said we can do deliveries, but I don't think we are tough enough or organized enough. Yeah, I need toughness 10 or organizing 10, so we can't do this job yet. But we can, I think, work in geoponics and shovel dirt, which will give us 3 toughness. So let's put that. I'm gonna write that down. Geoponics. Shovel dirt. 1. Okay. First day in the glorious world of agricultural soil conveyance. Oh boy. Good morning, Soul. Looks like you're working for your old lady. I hope you don't expect me to go easy on you just because you're my kid. She walks around the geoponics wing and points out where everything is. Your job is to move sod, compost, plants, garden waste, and equipment from one place to another. Get comfortable with this, she says, pushing a squeaky old-fashioned wheelbarrow towards you. Now, any questions before you start moving that dirt? I don't want to read all of this, so let's get to work. That's my kid, your mom says, slapping you on the back. You stumble a little. Ouch. Your arms start to ache after the first half hour of work, but you keep going. By the end of the month, you feel utterly drained and exhausted, and good somehow. You can feel your muscles growing already. Alright, so I think if we do this, there we go. This week you had a few more bouts of deja vu, remembering that somebody is about to say or do just before they do it. Sometimes they actually do it, but not always. This morning you were sure Professor Hall was going to trip on the uneven floor in the cafeteria and spill his plate of hash browns. You even told Mars to watch. He didn't, though. As Professor Hall walked away, his hash browns safe for today, Mars called you a liar and a dummy. At night, your dreams are all mixed up with stuff that you know can't be real. You're chased by monsters the size of buildings, only to be saved by strange people you've never met. You're holding hands with someone you love. You're crying as you help lift a shrouded body into the colony recycler. Everything sounds so familiar. When you try to recall their faces when you wake up, they're smeared in your memory like wet paint. You lived this life before, in your dreams, you're sure of it. In the light of day, you try to remember everything from your dreams, but it's impossible. You can't live a lifetime in dreams. Anytime you try to tell someone, they think you're playing a trick, or that you're sick and need to go to medbay. You eventually decide to stay quiet about your strange dreams. Why? They're not dreams, they're memories. You lived it enough times to know, over and over, your head is filled with memories. You lived and died on this planet more times than you can count. Why are you stuck like this? Being stuck in a time loop would be even harder to explain than having prophetic dreams. It's the right choice to keep it to yourself. So many time loops. Cal! Cal is riding around the geoponics garden on his hoverboard. The board comes to a sudden shuddering stop on the rocky ground in front of you. Cal falls off, but catches his balance before he eats dirt. Hi, Soul. Real ground is way harder to hover on than ship floors. There are bumps everywhere. We all have to adapt. Yeah, Cal exclaims. Things are actually way, way better planet-side. Hovering outside is rad. Look at this. He runs over to a small depression in a nearby hill and presents it like something amazing. Look at this. It's a skate bowl. Ooh, can I try? Sure, but please be careful. Mom says if I break my hoverboard, we can't make another one. You take turns riding around the bowl, trying to get up enough speed going down one side to come back up on the other. You don't land any tricks. It's hard just staying on the board with the uneven ground, but it's still fun. Right. Tang wants to talk. Tangent is I guess it should be Tange, not Tang. Tangent is hunched over her hollow palm, frowning and poking angrily at the air. She speaks without looking up at you. Professor Howell wants us to prep a list of native flora with pictures. There should be a catalog on the colony HoloNet, but I can't find it anywhere. You launch your own holopalm and start searching the colony's HoloNet archives for lists of autumnal plants and animals. 10 minutes later, you find it buried under survey logistics in the expeditions net. An enemy passes by and pulls a face at the two of you. Hey, hollow nerds, she shouts. School's over. Come out play a sports ball in the sunshine. Tange just rolls her eyes. We actually are too stressed out to do anything, so we're gonna relax. It's nice to take some time off to chill after all the stress of school and work, not to mention the mental toll of just living on an unpredictable planet. Looks like you're not the only one who needs some downtime. Some of the other kids are also relaxing in the lounge. We're gonna join Cal and Tammy because I want to get enough friendship with Tammy to unlock her giving us cakes. Cal is braiding Tammy's long hair and weaving it in strands of little colored baubles. This one's called a waterfall braid, I think, he says. I saw it in the archive, but it's really tricky. He's doing a terrible job of it. His short, clumsy fingers getting all tangled. We're not creative enough to do better, but we can do Cal's hair. You sit behind him as he sits with her. Like a mini conga line, you braid some short strands of Cal's hair, putting one of the little baubles at the end of each one. He finishes Tammy's hair. It's almost recognizable as a waterfall braid, then touches his own braid and giggles. Now we'll do yours, they shout in unison. You jokingly try to escape, but Cal sits in your legs while Tammy gives you a beautiful braid. When we relax, we can also forget a card. So we're going to forget this one because it's worth 0. Alright, it is now Shimmer season. This is a collectible that we can pick up. I don't think we have enough. We don't have enough toughness or bravery to go out and explore. We can play sports ball at the garrison. Let me write this down. I believe this does give us bravery and toughness. Anemone is bouncing from one leg to the other in excitement. My brother, Comet, is organizing the youth team, she tells you. Kombucha offers you a high five and greeting, then tosses a sports ball your way. Let's start with a practice game to see what you're good at. You and Anemone are team captains. Pick your team. Everyone used to practice with Cal and Mars on the ship, but Tammy, you're surprised to see her here. Com even filled up and to even up the teams, but he promises to go easy on the other side. We're gonna pick Tammy because we're trying to be friends with her. Cal said I should join, but I'm not very good at sports. Where should I stand? She asked quietly. You aren't sure. You send her to tackle back and tell her to stick like glue to the opposing team's offense. Maybe she'll get in their way instead of yours. I'm gonna be on this team. I'm gonna go with Mars. I'll play Spiker. Mars runs to take position. Seems like she's in it for the glory. Hopefully she'll want to share some of that with the rest of the team. Face off, 3-on-3. We are on harder card challenges because it's more fun. So this is a story round, so there's 3 rounds to get up to a higher goal. And the first one we only pick 3. So could get rid of all of our 1s. Or we could just do... So this one, the value is wild, so I get 5 points, but it'll also give me a match with the 2 and with the 1. If I flip it, no, it's still 13. Let's do that to get us straight. Maybe just 4 to get extra points. These are all 1s, so let's just match the colors. Super goal. Super simple. Tammy tackies an enemy in a brilliant takedown that surprises everyone. Sorry if you can hear that car alarm outside. There's not much I can do about that. She really took to her role as the immovable object. The store is tied with an enemy in calm, putting the pressure on, then bam! You score the match point with a rad spike all the way from the net line. Oh, yeah. You wake from an afternoon nap. The dream you're in is one you've had many times. The air is strangely pink and fluffy, kind of sticky, and you have to push your way through it. It feels like every step takes an eternity. You push the pink cloud and emerge into the children's creche, a room you know well, to see your friend Tammy standing before an enormous bear made of pure light. It lunges at her, through her, and she collapses to the ground like a fainting fairy tale princess. You wake with your heart racing. Tammy is leaning over you where you've been sleeping in a nest of pillows. She shakes your shoulder gently. "Oh, I'm sorry, soul," she says, as if speaking to a small child. I think you were having a nightmare. You okay?" "Are you?" "Nothing bad happened in the dream, but you feel sick with dread." Since you're awake, you should visit the cafeteria. Auntie Seton is making a new kind of candy. She says it's made of cotton. Isn't that weird? I have to go tidy the creche first. Then I'll meet you there. Save some for me, okay?" Tammy skips off towards the creche, humming to herself. You feel groggy and need a minute to clear your head. That dream. So, you remember that something bad happens to Tammy from a previous playthrough. So we're gonna go save Tammy. You sprint down the hall to the children's creche where the little kids play and learn during the day. It's empty. All the younger kids are probably off eating candy with Auntie Seton. You spot... Oop, I didn't mean to do that. You spot Tammy tidying up some drawing supplies near the crafting bins. Above her, a holo projector displays an enormous floating teddy bear made of purple light. It bobs silently in the air. Mr. Bearsworth. A decade of happy memories playing with it flash through your mind in an instant. Tammy stands up on her toes and reaches for the switch to turn it off. You slam into her, knocking her off her feet and onto the ground. At the same moment, the holo projector sparks and explodes. The bear disappears and the whole room goes dark. In the dim emergency lighting, you see Tammy's eyes wide with surprise and fear. She sits up and rubs her elbow, staring at you. I just saved your life." "My life?" she says. She peers into the dark room, looking even more frightened. "How?" You try to explain the holo projector was going to shock her, but she doesn't seem to understand. "What? How?" "But it's Mr. Bearsworth," she says. "It's just a toy." She doesn't believe you, but that's okay. You're just happy that you followed your dream and got here in time. You decide not to mention the dream since she seems weirded out already. After a minute, the light comes back on. The projector is dead, a thin trickle of stinky smoke coming from the base. "Don't worry," Tammy says, brightening as she gets to her feet. "Professor Hal can fix it. He can fix anything." By the time you find the professor and finish cleaning up, you've forgotten all about the pink candy in the cafeteria. That's mid-pollen. Hi, Dad. You meet your dad adjusting a watering pot in your mom's flower garden. He's having a sneezing fit, his eyes runny and red. You're alarmed. You've never seen him look sick before. People were hardly ever ill on the stratospheric, except sometimes when the zero-G rooms made them queasy. "Not to worry, my little beanstalk," he says nasally. "I'll be fine. It's just the pollen making my head a little stuffy." He wipes his nose with a handkerchief and looks around. Everywhere you turn there is soupy and tinged with pink from all the floating pollen. On Earth, your dad tells you, we used to call this hay fever. Even though it has nothing to do with hay, your mom cuts in, carrying a large bouquet of flowers. The native flowers seem to be in full bloom this time of year. She bursts her nose deep in them, and they smell fantastic. Your dad smiles kindly and agrees that they sure are beautiful, and he blows his nose loudly. Let's sniff the flowers. They smell good and look harmless. The dad eyes look so sad. Maybe that's just the allergies. Hey Soul, I know the last weeks have been very hard on you. This might be a good time to relax and stick around in the quarters wing. Tammy is sitting down in the grass with a baby on her lap. They're playing nicely with some flowers on a strand of the beads in Tammy's hair or something. Tammy keeps gently removing her hair from the baby's mouth. Oh, Soul, she giggles as you join her. Aren't babies the best? There's so many new babies in the crush. You'd think we were starting a colony or something. Tammy laughs. But the parents are too busy doing other work and somebody needs to take care of the little ones. She looks down lovingly to the baby who is now sucking on part of her skirt, getting it good and damp with baby drool. You could help too. It would be fun. Baby chooses this moment to spit up a big puddle of pale yellow liquid on Tammy's dress. Oopsie, Tammy coos and picks the baby up, and she holds them out towards you. Could you take them for a minute while I find a towel, Soul? The baby hiccups and rolls their eyes. They still look a little queasy. We're gonna say okay, I guess. You hold the child at arm's length, willing them to keep the rest of their stomach contents in. They hiccup again and let out a tremendous belch, as loud as a drunken sailor. You have to admit that was kind of cute. And Tangent wants to talk. Soul, Tangent says, approaching you with purpose. We need to discuss my brother. Who, this? Who, this? Yes, this, she says impatiently. I need you to figure out where he's been disappearing. Ever since we landed, I barely see him anymore. He doesn't even come home at night sometimes, and she trails off and looks at her feet. Well, I'm not on very good terms with my brother of late, but people are becoming worried. You get the feeling Tangent's the one who's worried, but she doesn't want to admit it. I'll find out. Thank you, Soul, she says, looking relieved for a second, before her expression hardens again. I mean, it would be a ridiculous waste of resources if something happened to him, and no one knew where he was or how to find him. Right. Of course Tange doesn't get worried. Where are you going? Tell him that his sister wants to know where he's been disappearing to. His eyes flip briefly to yours, then he stares vaguely off towards engineering wing where his sister is reading on her hollow palm between classes. She's worried about you. She doesn't care about me, he says sullenly. Tangent's just worried she'll get in trouble if I don't come home one day. He scowls and picks at the hem of his sweater. She doesn't care about anything but her schoolwork. We'll just leave him alone, because we're not good enough friends with him for him to tell us where he's going. It's fine. I kind of want to do babysitting so we can get our empathy up. Hello, Soul. Antecedent greets you. Oh, wait. Hold on. I need to record this. We're gonna get the hobbyist ending, folks. Our lives depend on it. Oh, my life depends on it. Babysitting. Oh, sweetheart. I'm so happy that you've come back to help. You know this place well. The creche, part preschool, part all-day daycare. You practically grew up here, cared for communally while your parents worked their shifts. A few kids even live in the creche full-time. In a way, antecedent, aka Anne, aka antecedent, is every kid's mom. The smell of craft glue and clean blankets gives you a calming sense memory of all the happy times you spent here with your friends. Tammy is here too, gently rocking a drowsy baby against her chest. She looks at ease here in a way you don't usually see. You're going to babysit too? She asks in an excited stage whisper. You'll love it. Suddenly, a bundle of wild hair in pink overalls runs straight into you, nearly knocking you over. Almost more kitten than kid, the child grabs your legs and stares up at you with unblinking green eyes. Watch that one. You remember Nugget. Nougat. She's turning out to be quite the handful. Why don't you start off by getting her to go down for her nap? Let's do crafts so we can get creativity. As you find the finger paints and wait for the Crusher's nanoprinter to warm up and print some fresh sheets of blank paper, Nougat gets bored and slips away, makes a beeline to the older kids who are playing with the Create-A-Bot. She charges in to pick up the bot and hugs it, causing it to flail and whirl and knock both her and itself over. By the time you get to the scene of the crime, there are tears, and the other kids are upset about the broken bot. The commotion attracts the attention of Antecedent, who swoops in with hugs and tissues. Within a minute, she has it under control. Whoops, she says, hauling Nugget up into her hip with ease. Just a little mix-up. Don't worry, everyone. Soul will get that box fixed in a jiffy. She winks at you with a warm smile. Let's see. There we go. So now it is the third week of pollen, which is an enemy's birthday. So you can say we got something for her and we can give her the egg, which is one of her favorite things. Whoa, this egg looks tasty, an enemy exclaims. Wait, I can eat this, right? Oh wait, it's not her birthday. Shoot, it's Tammy's birthday. We don't have anything for Tammy though. I want to get our empathy up so that way we can do this. And then she'll start giving us cakes every year on her birthday, which are good gifts. So we're gonna do babysitting again to get our empathy up. Mark this down. Most kids go to the creche. Most kids in the creche go home at the end of the workday to be with their parents, but some live here full time. Anne's triplets, for example, as well as orphans from the wormhole crash, and children whose parents have simply opted to have them raised communally instead. Hey, what do you mean wormhole crash? We had the shields up to maximum? What do you mean? I guess we got injured anyway. You've heard that orphanages on Earth could be troubled, but here in the creche, everyone is cared for equally. They're lucky in a sense. In the creche, they have a huge family and so many siblings to play with. You and Tammy are putting 2 of these creche kids to bed. Tammy is cuddled up with one of them, reading a book out loud. Tonight's story, Tammy begins, is about a little vacuum bot named Litter. One night while Litter was charging, there was a power surge in her charging station. Zap! Tammy tickles the children for emphasis. And the next morning when Litter woke up, well, instead of cleaning, she decided to go on a grand adventure. Tammy makes the story up as she goes. She has the vacuum bot venture all the way out of the geoponics dome to the other side of the colony to meet her cousin bots in engineering. But everything goes wrong, and the little vacuum bot gets scared and lost. After Captain Udicott saves her and brings her back to geoponics, the little vacuum bot vows to never go exploring again, and they live happily ever after. I don't really like the boring cards, so I'm gonna say, and plus there's another way to get it, so I'm gonna say, you're so great with kids. Thanks, Soul. Tammy blushes. I can't wait to have kids of my own. I want at least 5. Maybe even more. Antecedent says I could have as many as I want, and she and the other creche parents will help raise them all together. I think I'd like that. Sick. See, now it's an enemy's birthday, I think. But I don't have any gifts to give. I have 1 mushroom log to give. Yes, Mother. Are you mad at me for not going to school? Soul, I know we said you're mature enough to decide your own schedule now, but don't prove us wrong. If I find out you've been playing holo games in your quarters all day, I swear I wasn't. I spoke with your teacher. Hal wants to see you in class more often, Sol. You can pick any subject, but I want you to study hard and try your best to excel at whatever you decide to do. This colony is too small to support layabouts and freeloaders. Ma'am, I am babysitting. Nothing good ever comes from arguing with Mom. Babysit one more time. Well, wait, let's see if we can perform a random act of kindness. Start simple. You give Tammy an enormous hug, sharing the love. Tammy gets a lot of hugs, but you make sure this one feels special. She hugs you back, wiggling back and forth happily. She's surprisingly strong. Thanks, Sol, she says breathlessly as you squeeze the wind out of her little. I really, really needed that. Oh, before you go, she adds, and produces a box with a slice of cake in it from the folds of her skirt. Do you want this cake? They're so fun to make, but I need someone to help me eat them. I'll make you another on your birthday if you like, and we can trade hugs for cakes again. Yes, cake. Okay, I want to get our empathy up to 33, I think it is, because then we unlock the spa. And the spa we can spend kudos, which is like the money, and we can use those to get rid of low cards. Check this off. Tammy is a natural at this. You're constantly amazed that she never loses her temper. When you ask her about how she does it, she just blushes and looks away, saying that it's not that impressive if it's the only thing she's really good at. No. Yes. It's time for Vertumnalia. Udicott and the council have called a festival to celebrate life here on the planet Vertumna. Everyone gathers in the colony square to hear Governor Udicott's speech. In Earth's history, Udicott begins and then clears her throat and waits for everyone to quiet down. In Earth's history, Vertumna was known as the god of seasons, change, gardens, and fruit. It's no coincidence that our forebears of the Vertumna Project chose to take on such an auspicious name in the hopes of seeding future bountiful seasons of humanity. We will continue this tradition of Vertumnalia, a midsummer festival to celebrate our Vertumna, this lush planet on which we find ourselves today. We're gonna yawn. This is boring. I'm tired of reading. You start to tune the speeches out after that. The members of the council all get up on stage one at a time to say something. When it's your mother's turn, she announces that tonight you'll be eating some of the very first crops grown from Vertumnan soil. Your eyes go to the feast table. Aboard the Stratosphere, it would have been mostly soy-based foods from the nanoprinters, spiced up with what precious fruits and vegetables could be grown in the small growing bays. This year, though, the table's overflowing with fresh food. Potatoes, carrots, zucchini, beans, bounty made possible by both the successful hydroponics and the precious brown soil ferried safely all the way from Earth. There's also some native plants, juicy watato pods, and slabs of edible fungi. Udicott takes the stage after everyone in the council has said their piece. What is a festival without festivities? She asks. Professor Howell and Security Chief Rhett have organized a 3-part competition for the kids. Good luck, children. Let's see. Toughness and reasoning. Let's boost our toughness. A bot wrestling contest. This has been a classic competition for years on the ship. Someone has rigged up a hydraulic lifting bot to slowly stretch out, increasing in strength over time. The aim is to see how long you can hold it closed, using any part of your body before it pops open. An enemy and Cal are competing with you. Cal doesn't like that it's a competition, but he does love bot wrestling. So these challenges are always kind of hard, but after the feast you get 50 stress points recovered. So if we use a lot of stress points to win, it's not that big of a deal. If we lose, it's also not that big of a deal. I don't think we can do it, Chief. We can use our logs, but 2 points to a card, I don't think it's not going to get us 28 points. So we're just going to give up. It could give us a straight, but we lose. An enemy's brother is the judge. An award bonus points for technique as well as brute strength. You sit on the drop block and use your weight at first, but it wobbles too much and eventually tosses you off. An enemy uses a strong leg hold technique and lasts 30 seconds longer than you do before the bot finally escapes her grip. She's the winner. She just offers you a hand and pulls it back at the last second before running away cackling. Maybe next year. After the festivities are over, everyone takes time off for a much-needed break. During the fierce heat of dust, a few days' rest is exactly what you need. You feel refreshed. Tammy almost doesn't notice you approach. She's bent over her hollow palm, intently taking notes, until you get close enough that her ears wiggle and she looks up surprised. Oh, hello, Soul. I'm so sorry I didn't see you there. You ask her what she's studying, and she flushes pink and tugs on your hair. Oh, I'm not studying, she says. I'm making lists of my friend's favorite things. She laughs a little embarrassed. And well, you're my friend, Soul, so what's your favorite color? Black. Favorite dessert? Cake. Yay, space cake is my favorite, too. Favorite toy? Stuffed animals. Okay, now I know what to get for your birthday. What are your favorite things? I like the color yellow and my dolls, and my favorite sweet is cake. Okay, so if the Wikipedia is correct... Oh, wait, let's talk to Cal. You're looking for Cal in the garden when you nearly trip over someone else, one of the younger kids, and they're blindfolded. Hey, they exclaim, ripping the blindfold off their face and throwing it on the ground. It's Cirrus, one of Anemone's brothers. He glares at you. I was almost done. Cal jogs over and grabs Cirrus in a friendly headlock, ruffling his messy red hair. Dude, you were so close. Cirrus stamps his feet and complains that you got in his way. It's not their fault. They didn't know we were playing a game. Give me a sec. I want to teach them how to play. Cal turns to you as Cirrus leaves. Sorry, Soul, he says sheepishly. I was teaching Cirrus a new game, but he's more like an enemy than I thought. Real competitive, you know? He stoops up to pick up the blindfold, brushing off the dirt. I've been trying to come up with different kinds of games other than sports ball. No winners or losers. I just want to have fun with my friends. Do you want to learn how to play? Yes, I do. Radical. Okay, so first put on this blindfold. Blindfold is a little scratchy and smells like dirt. You can feel Cal's big hands on your shoulder. I'm going to spin you around, and when I let go, you gotta listen to my instructions. We're going to walk all the way to the cafeteria, okay? 1, 2, 3. First, you gotta walk forward 10 steps. We're going to skip all this because we've done this before in a dream or another life. You smile to yourself. Between Cal's instructions and your memory, you make it all the way to the cafeteria with no problem at all. Ta-da! Cal exclaims, throwing his arms wide. We made it. Good job, us. He pushes open the doors to the cafeteria. You know, he says, you're the first person who's made it all the way to the end. We make a good team, Soul. We celebrate your joint victory by drinking 2 glasses of Watato juice. What in the world do you think a Watato is? You spend the rest of the afternoon brainstorming more games where there are no winners or losers. Cal is so impressed by how you somehow seem to know what he's thinking before he says it. Okay. do one more round of babysitting to try to get our empathy up. Let's do it. Back on Earth, humans used to have babies willy-nilly with very little planning. Here, making a new human requires approval from the council, and there haven't been any new babies since you landed. The one in your arms was born shortly before you passed through the wormhole. You hold the youngest member of the colony with reverence, staring down at her sweet, chubby cheeks. She's just a bundle of blinking, mildly confused joy, gazing sleepily up at you. She wiggles like she wants to get free from her swaddle. We're not falling for her tricks. Yeah, you know what's up. After a few minutes of struggling, the baby tires herself out and her eyes slip shut. Success! Nap time! Tammy walks over to see how you're doing. Aw, she exclaims. It looks like she likes you. Let me take her and put her down, okay? She takes the baby and sets her down in a crib in the quiet room and comes back and gives you a sunny smile. Well, we'll see how long that lasts. It'll be tough when all the babies are grown up and no one takes naps anymore. I'm gonna miss quiet time. I'm gonna miss the babies the most, though. I love babies. Sure, they're cute. She tugs on her ear, which she does when she feels unsure of herself. She tugs on her ears a lot. Well, I hope that when the council allows new babies again, if I'm old enough, that I can volunteer for it. I mean, I don't even know how it works really, but they'll tell me, right? Hold up. Tammy doesn't know what babies are made? They taught us this in sex ed. Tammy laughs nervously. Oh, Soul, I'm not really good at school, and it was so embarrassing. I just haven't done that part yet. I haven't been able to open the holovids. I do know the basics, though, she says, defensively. The babies start as teeny weeny specks inside the womb, and they get bigger and bigger, and then they come out. I just don't know the other stuff. I mean, we're 10 years old. Yeah, that's... Nice. Okay, that's the last time. I think. That was 4, right? So we shouldn't do babysitting again. Just in case. Which kind of sucks because I wanted to get our empathy up. I think it's Cal's birthday. Yep, thanks for giving me on my birthday. I really only give gifts on birthdays, with an exception of a character later who, if you give him a lot of logs, he provides a new job. Because that's where you get the biggest friendship thing, and plus I want to keep the gifts for if I need them. Let's go to school. Oh, we can register for engineering classes. Don't get empathy from studying humanities. Maybe we should boost our toughness so that way we can go explore. Toughness or bravery. Let's do sports ball. You're paired with Nougat at practice. Make the mistake of underestimating her and she wipes the pitch with you. Lol. Oh, look at this one. Not sure how I feel about this. Early wet season. So then, I trapped it in my room, an enemy says, telling you all about this bug she saw in her quarters. Its wings were as big as my head, and had feelers like, whoa! It was bouncing all over the place, like boing, boing, boing. She gestures excitedly, swinging her arms over her head. The bugs here are so big, and they're everywhere. I'm gonna give it to Tange. She loves gross bug stuff, but she said I shouldn't just let it go. because if it stung me, I might get weird mutant powers. I mean, other than the ones I already have. And I wanted to see if I got more weird mutant powers. So I started jumping around off higher and higher things until I was jumping off the back of the ship. And I got in so much trouble, but it wasn't even that high. She stops in her tracks. Hold on, she says, stooping to rub irritably at her knees for probably the 100th time in the past 5 minutes. Ugh, I'm gonna die. I busted up my knees and it's so itchy when my scales grow in. Annie, don't pick at it. Chief Steward Antecedent's voice rings out across the garrison yard, pleasant but firm. It instantly transports you back to being in the ship's crash, tugging on her skirts and calling her auntie. An enemy jumps and stands up straight, her hands flying to her sides. But Mom, it's so scratch-tastically itchy. I know, lovely. Antecedent soothes her, patting down her riotous red hair. But the more you pick at it, the thicker your scales are going to grow in. And then it tucks her hands under her armpits to keep from scratching. What if I want to have cool scales? She pouts. Antecedent smiles indulgently. At the rate you're going, I'm sure you'll be covered in them before you know it. No need to rush. An enemy's skin is dotted with patches of protective blue-green scales that grow in wherever she gets a cut or scrape. She rubs the patch on her jaw indignantly. The one she got when she first ran first into the food synthesizer back on the ship. Antecedent opens her satchel and pulls out a bundle of clothes. The queue for the nanoprinter is over a week long, so I patched your pants with scraps from your brother's clothing. Please try not to put any more holes in them or yourself, okay? She hands the clothes to an enemy and kisses her on the forehead. An enemy sticks out her tongue and gags. Yuck. An enemy evaluates the clothes as her mom walks away. Galactic, she breathes as she runs her fingers over the odd color patches. Then, right there in the middle of the yard, she unashamedly squirms out of her pants and pulls on the new one. Whoa, I look like a fighter jet from the Hollows, she explains, showing off her new pants, like when they censor your kill count on your plane. Or like a really cool scar. Yeah, you get it. My pants are scarred just like me. It's pouring rain and everyone's trying to stay dry under the grass roof lavas. Everyone except this, off in the distance, over at the wall near the sports ball field. He's definitely skulking. Just ignore him. I don't like telling on this. It should be Mars's birthday. So we can give her the cake, I guess. Yeah, whatever, Marzipan. You know, Soul, you're alright, Mars says as you approach. You blink at her, trying to figure out what she means. You're in alright what? At your stunned silence, Mars laughs and tosses her hair over her shoulder. You're alright, she repeats. You actually have good taste, unlike all these other nullheads. Ever since we landed, it's been help with this, Mars. And don't waste resources on that, Mars. It's boring. At least you understand the importance of sophistication. You shoot the breeze with Mars a bit longer. At some point, this sulks out of the living quarters and has to pass by you both, clearly trying not to draw your attention. Ugh, where's he going now? Mars mutters to you, then raises her voice so Dis can hear. Try not to get eaten by aliens, she calls out. If you die out there, they can't use your body for fertilizer. Don't be a waste. Shut up, Mars. This is cool. You say it loud enough for Dis to hear. He looks at you with wide eyes before scurrying towards the walls. Huh, Mars says with a little smile. No accounting for taste. She seems to respect that you challenged her. Need a drink. Hold on. She watches Dis disappear from sight, then shrugs. Maybe you can get through to him. I've tried, but he doesn't care about contributing to the colony, or being popular, or earning quotas, or anything important. Okay. I don't think we're tough enough to explore yet. Oh, maybe we are. Nope. But we should be tough enough to unlock working in the depot? Yeah. Chief Administrator Seek greets you at the depot. They look you up and down. Soul, you've never struck me as particularly responsible or organized, but children never are. What makes you think you'd be a good fit for the position of courier? You didn't realize there was going to be a job interview. I can carry a lot? Strong for your age, maybe. But lucky for you, you're the only applicant this week. You've got the job. For now, anyway. They use their elegant stylus to note this on their polypom. Come back in a few minutes, and you can help make deliveries. Yes, there will be kudos in it for you if you do it correctly. Sure. Let me write this down. Seek sends you all around the colony delivering supplies. During your first week, it's mostly small things you can carry by hand or push on a little cart, stuff like tools and electronics. Some are high priority, which means you have to move fast. It's fun getting to yell important delivery coming through and people actually get out of the way. Let's see. Excellent. Having a terrifying, familiar dream. A monster crashing through the walls, unfathomably large, every part of it's wiggling and moving and searching for something. It tramples through the colony as you watch helplessly. Time shifts through the records of your home. You're picking through it looking for something, tears streaking down your dust-covered face as you lift heavy pieces of debris searching. You wake up shouting, "No!" but your voice is drowned out by a deafening rumble from the skies outside. The bedroom window is covered in water. It's pouring down from the clouds. You guess it must be rain, but you've never experienced it before. There's a bright flash from outside, then another crack and rumble. Thunder! It must be a thunderstorm. It's still the early hours of the morning. You've already almost forgotten your bad dream, but you're too unsettled to go back to sleep yet. The rain beats down on the roof of your quarters, joins now and then with great peals of thunder like the footsteps of an angry beast. Let's go play in the rain. It's surprisingly warm outside, but the water feels nice hitting your head. Everything smells fresh and damp and wonderful, and the dusty, packed ground has turned to squelchy mud between your toes. You don't go too far from the door to your quarters, but it's exciting being outside in the dark, watching dramatic streaks of lightning arc down to the hills behind the colony. Alright. I think I want to boost our toughness so we can go explore outside. So let's go do gardening. Can't get the dirt out from under our nails and it's gross. There we go. So now it's this and tangents. Okay. I think we only have one gift. So let's give it to this. Is it my birthday? I almost forgot. I hate it when people make a big deal about my birthday, but this is nice. Thank you. I wonder actually if we can buy a cake. I don't think we can. Yeah, the shop isn't open yet. Let's go boost our toughness some more. You join Cal at a particularly fragrant pile of compost. He's trying to use his hoverboard as a wheelbarrow, carefully pushing compost off it into the pile. Don't you just love this? I don't think I've ever seen the third one, so I'm going to see this third one just to see what it is. What, these stinky, rotted food scraps? No, I'd mean just this. He waves his arms, dirt encrusted up to elbows, to take in the entire greenhouse. We get to help plant stuff and watch it grow. Even if we're just moving dirt around, we're still helping. Why do you like it so much? Well, I like digging holes in the dirt because it's so full of surprises down there. I found a worm. Wait, let me see if I can find her again. He sticks his hand in the compost and rummages around, his tongue sticking out of his mouth. I guess she got away. She was real shiny like a rainbow. Wait, I just thought of a thing I like better. Getting dirt under my fingernails. I don't know why, but it's the best. I like that we just complained about getting dirt under our fingernails, and then Cal's like, I love it. I love the dirt. The days have been getting shorter, with only the yellow sun barely skimming the horizon. One morning, you wake in the darkness and have to check your hollow palm to know what time it is. You see a hollow stream from Mars. Good morning to all my pals! If you can even call it morning. They've named it glow season because, like, everything is crazy glowing out there in the dark. I'm staying the heck inside for this next month. What's the point of going out if you can't see anything? It's gonna be a long, boring month. No way, it looks cool out there. You peek out the window. The wormhole is the biggest you've ever seen it, like a massive fiery ring in the sky. The planets must be very close to it by now. And out in the jungle, something new is taking place. The plants are flowering, glowing iridescent blooms, and everything is full of life. There are strange new sounds, long hooting calls, and gurgling roars. After Mars's messages, a notice from the council, warning everyone to stay safe inside. Tammy's dad and the other surveyors have been called back and the gate's closed for the month. There's a tension in the air as if everyone is waiting for something. Okay. Can't go outside during glow season. How's our toughness? 18. We need to get to 20, so we're going to shovel one more time. This will be the last time we do this job, I think. Plants have a day-night cycle just like animals. When the grow lights in the geoponic domes are turned off, it plunges that whole part of the colony into eerie darkness. Just the native plants in the field throw off any kind of light. It's beautiful, but also deeply weird. Let's see. The endless dark of glow season must be getting to you. All week you've been having nightmares. Something is coming. Something bad is about to happen. A dreadful mantra repeats in your head. You're hardly even surprised when the emergency sirens start up. You peek out the gates. Yes, they should be closed, but they're open, just as you dreamed or remembered. But the details are foggy. There were monsters. The closest assembly point is the children's crash, but from the opposite direction you hear shouting and loud popping noises. Gunfire? Is the colony under attack? Yeah, what can help fight? You try your best to be brave and fight back. First, you dodge some helpful grown-ups to point you back to the creche. Then you head outside to get your bearings. You can hear yelling from up the stairs to command and a commotion to the southeast at Geoponics where your parents are working. Parents are defending the greenhouses from a pack of knee-high creatures that seem to have eyes growing all over their bodies. The oily flesh ripples with a constant, subtle motion as individual eyes blink one by one. Or blink one at a time, incessantly. You can't tell which end is which with those horrible things. This feels familiar. Cal is standing nearby, wide-eyed. He slowly picks up a shovel and moves beside you. He reluctantly holds the shovel in front of himself like a weapon. Easy, doggies, he whispers. We don't want to hurt you. Get out of here, both of you, run! Your mom shouts, attacking the pack's attention. In a flash of remembering, you lock eyes on one of the creatures. You've done this before. You know it's frightened. You know it's going to attack. So since we've done this before, we know how to soothe the beast. You shout, "Don't look at their eyes," and cover your face with your hands. You hear the IBs lunge towards you and then stop. Cal whimpers beside you as it sniffs the shirt and paws at the ground. Your heart is beating so hard, but you stand still. You aren't sure you could run if you wanted to. Then slowly the pack filters out of the greenhouse. You peek through your fingers. It's as if they're anxiously looking for something. Cal and your parents are incredibly relieved. You hear another crack of gunfire from the other side of the colony, then silence. After 2 weeks of darkness, with the blue sun barely skimming the horizon, it begins to move higher in the sky, and daytime returns. The council admits they don't know how the gates were opened or how the creatures got in. Some of the attacking creatures were once thought to be docile. Others were species nobody had seen before. It was like something had driven them to assault the colony. At least nobody was killed. This time. Alright, so that's the end of year 10. So now we are 11 years old. We get this little summary of what we did in that year and how our friendships have grown and what cards we've gotten. We can start age 11. But I think I'm going to end this video here. If this is something you're interested in seeing me continue to do, please let me know. And if you have played this game before and you know how to get the hobbyist ending, because I have tried so many times. And I'm getting real sick and tired of failure. So yeah, see you next time.